Hey, this is Karen Locke with Sand and Snow and Everywhere in Between, and I am in the beautiful Hocking Hills Forest in central Ohio, just about an hour south of Columbus. And I just happened upon Naturalist Pat, who's going to tell us a teeny bit about Old Man's Cave, because that's where we're at right now.
Well, Old Man's Cave is probably, the park itself is broken into 6 different areas, and Old Man's Cave is probably the most visited of the 6 areas, more visitors here than anywhere else. And if you come through here, you'll know why, because this area is, it's a main gorge system. We are at Blackhand Sandstone Gorge, and that is very specific to this particular region in Ohio. But Blackhand Sandstone is a very porous, inconsistent type of sandstone. So it allows the rock to be carved into these spectacular gorges and recess caves and rock formations and waterfalls, etc. that you're seeing here in the park.
No kidding. Now, I have heard tales of how Old Man's Cave got its name. Do you have the official story on that?
Yeah,
because there's about a dozen online.
Yeah, you have to go back. You have to go back a few years. You're actually looking at the early 1700s. Okay. And you have to remember, Ohio's a little bit different than those days, okay? And I always laugh because I always showed the covered wagons coming, right? The history taught us that, right?
Of course.
Yeah, wrong. Okay, you could not get a covered wagon into Ohio. Ohio was 96% forest, and I do mean the trees you see around us, such as these maples, etc. These are babies. The average trees were 6 to 10 feet in diameter and 100 to 200 feet high. So if you can imagine a covered wagon and a tree falling down in front of you 200 feet, 10 foot diameter, and you have a tomahawk to get, you see the problem, right? Yeah. Okay.
There's issues.
So when the settlers first came here, this was a very pristine, very special area, but it was also some of the richest soil they'd ever seen. So they wanted to farm it. They wanted it. And there was a family down in Tennessee, eastern Tennessee, named the Rexlers, and they had a young man with them named Richard, their son. And they decided that they wanted to come here to the town of Chillicothe.
Chillicothe?
Exactly. Okay, but in those days it was a home village of Shawnee. Yeah, and they wanted to set up a trading post. And that's what they did. They brought Richard with them. He grew up in the wilderness. When he became a teenager, he discovered the main recess cave here. And rather than build a log home, he went home. And he moved in right there in the cave, and he lived there he was in his 70s when he finally had an accident in the bottom of the gorge and shot himself by accident. But you can imagine, in those days, 70-some years old, that was ancient.
No kidding.
So the local folks, the natives, they all loved him. He never married, never had kids. Him and his hound dog. He had a big, giant Irish wolfhound that used to help him everywhere he went. He lived there the whole time. They all loved him, though. So they would all talk here and there in their journals, etc. about, oh, that's Richard. That's the old man's place, as he got older. And it stuck. When it became state property, the 1926, 27, most of it, who are we to change the name, right?
No kidding.
Yeah, so it's been stuck ever since. And more people actually know the park by the name Old Man's Cave than its true name of Hocking Hills State Park, especially Ohioans. They all, let's go to Old Man's Cave. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
all because of Richard. So.
Thanks, Richard. There is a reason why, and we're going to show you next. Can't wait to see it. Thanks.